What if a company needs to pay 10,000 employees on salary day? Does someone manually enter every payment? Definitely not. Instead, companies generate a single XML file called pain.001, which securely sends all payment instructions to the bank in one go. In this video, we'll understand what pain.001 is, how it works, its XML structure, how banks validate it, and how it eventually becomes a pax.008 message for interbank transfers. Let's begin. What is pain.001? Pain.001 stands for Customer Credit Transfer Initiation. It is an ISO 20022 XML message sent from a customer or corporate to their bank. Unlike pax.008, which is exchanged between banks, pain.001 simply tells the bank, "Please process these payments." Think of it as a payment instruction sent from a customer to their bank. Why is pain.001 needed? Imagine a company paying salaries to 10,000 employees. Entering each payment manually would take hours and could introduce mistakes. Instead, the company's ERP system creates one pain.001 XML file containing all payment instructions. The bank receives this single file and processes every payment automatically. That's why pain.001 is ideal for bulk payments like salaries, vendor payments, dividends, pensions, and supplier invoices. Who creates pain.001? Pain.001 is usually created by corporate systems such as Oracle, Treasury Management Systems, or other ERP applications. These systems collect payment information from the business and generate a standardized ISO 20022 XML file. That file is then securely transmitted to the company's bank. Complete payment journey. Let's look at the complete payment lifecycle. The corporate ERP generates a pain.001 message. The bank receives it and performs multiple validation checks. If everything is correct, the bank transforms the customer instruction into a pax.008 message. That pax.008 travels through Swift FIN Plus to the receiving bank. Finally, the receiving bank credits the beneficiary account. This is the complete end-to-end ISO 20022 payment journey. Message naming. Let's decode the message name. Pain identifies the business area. It stands for Payments Initiation. 001 identifies the message type. It represents Customer Credit Transfer Initiation. The next 001 indicates the message variant. Finally, 09 represents the version of the message definition used. Understanding the naming convention makes it easier to identify any ISO 20022 message. XML structure. The pain.001 XML follows a hierarchical structure. At the top is the Business Application Header or App HDR, which carries technical routing information. Next comes the document element. Inside the document is the Customer Credit Transfer Initiation message. This contains the group header, followed by one or more payment information blocks, and finally multiple credit transfer transaction details. Each level adds more business information to the payment. Group header. The group header contains information about the entire payment file. Important fields include message ID, creation date and time, number of transactions, and the control sum, which is the total value of all payments. Banks use this information to validate the file before processing individual transactions. Payment information. The payment information block contains details common to a group of payments. These include requested execution date, debtor account, payment method, and batch booking indicator. Instead of repeating this information for every payment, it is stored once for the entire payment batch. Credit transfer transaction. Each individual payment appears inside the credit transfer transaction information section. It contains creditor account, amount, currency, remittance information, and the end-to-end identification. Every payment instruction has its own transaction block. If a file contains 1,000 payments, it will contain 1,000 transaction sections. Real XML walkthrough. Let's look at a real pain.001 XML message. Notice the document element at the top. The group header contains the message level information. Payment information stores common payment details. Finally, Each credit transfer transaction contains beneficiary details, amount, account information, and remittance information. This structured XML makes automated processing possible. Real banking example. Let's take a practical example. ABC Company prepares its monthly salary file. The ERP system generates a pain.001 XML message. The company sends it to its bank. The bank validates every payment. After successful validation, the bank converts the file into pax.008 messages for interbank processing. Finally, employees receive their salaries. This is exactly how many payroll payments are processed today. Validation performed by bank. Before executing any payment, banks perform several validation checks. They verify account numbers, check available balances, screen against sanctions lists, perform AML checks, verify transaction limits, and detect duplicate payment instructions. Only after these validations are successful does the bank continue processing the payments. Pain.001 to pax.008. This is one of the most important concepts in ISO 20022. Customers never send pax.008 directly. Customers send pain.001. The bank validates the payment instructions. Then the bank transforms the customer message into pax.008. Only pax.008 travels between financial institutions through Swift FIN+. So think of pain.001 as the customer instruction, and pax.008 as the interbank payment message. Pain.001 versus pax.008. The difference is simple. Pain.001 flows from customer to bank. It requests the bank to initiate payments. Pax.008 flows from bank to bank. It carries the actual interbank payment instruction. One starts the payment. The other executes it across financial institutions. Benefits. Pain.001 offers several important benefits. It uses standardized XML. Supports complete automation. Handles bulk payments efficiently. Enables straight-through processing or STP. And carries rich structured data, improving accuracy and reducing manual work. These benefits make corporate payment processing faster, safer, and more reliable. Common mistakes. Let's clear up 3 common misunderstandings. First, Pain.001 does not transfer money. It only contains payment instructions. Second, customers never send pax.008. Only banks generate and exchange pax.008 messages. Third, banks transform Pain.001 into pax.008 after validating the payment instructions. Understanding this distinction is essential for every ISO 20022 professional. Interview questions. Here are some interview questions you should know. What is Pain.001? Who creates Pain.001? What is the difference between Pain.001 and pax.008? Can one Pain.001 contain multiple payment instructions? If you can confidently answer these questions, you're well prepared for ISO 20022 interviews. Quick cheat sheet. Let's quickly revise. Pain.001 is a customer credit transfer initiation message. It flows from customer to bank. Banks validate the payment instructions. They transform Pain.001 into pax.008. Pax.008 then travels between banks. Remember this simple flow. Customer Pain.001 bank pax.008 Swift receiving bank. That's the complete payment journey. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helped you understand Pain.001 in a simple and practical way. If you found it useful, please like, share, and subscribe to AK Next Gen Vibes. In the next video, we'll explore pax.002 explained and learn how banks send payment status updates in ISO 20022.